Hey guys, Mysterion here. So I was recommended to talk about feminism.
Oh, no. Oh, we should film it.
So the first thing I'm going to talk about is an Australian feminist writer, broadcaster, and public speaker. I'm reading it from Wikipedia. Her name is Clementine Ford, and I thought I'd give you my lovely thoughts on that. She's an Australian writer, so she's sadly from the same country I'm from. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to read you some of her Twitter stuff, and then I'm going to go through some other stuff as well. So, a post from her on her Twitter, she blatantly said, "Kill all men." That's a little uncomfortable, to be honest. I personally think that if the roles were reversed, I would get absolutely slain in the comments, and like cancel culture would come for me, and I would be, you know what I mean? I'd be deported probably. I don't even know what would happen, but like it's just crazy that like she came out and literally said, "Kill all men." That's crazy, like if the roles were reversed, I cannot fathom the amount of friends I would lose, the amount of family that would hate my guts. And I just think it's an absolutely disgusting thing to say. And the thing that makes this all the more crazier is this woman has a son who will become a man. Okay? Um, and the fact that she's so, like, she has so much hatred towards this gender. You know what I mean? It sort of makes me worry for the kid in that, you know, when as a parent, okay, you're putting certain beliefs into your own child, you sort of copy what you see as a child, Their kids are impressionable. And for her to think, oh, I hate all men. And, for her to write books on the topic and articles on the topic, whatever, you know, I wonder how the son's going to feel when the son is like 13. Is he going to hate himself? That's the type of stuff I genuinely worry about. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about the quality of parenting, but what I'm trying to say here is that it's worrying that she has such a belief and that it could transfer to her son and make her son feel bad in the long term. That's really what I mean by that. Other tweets by her include men are gross, also rapists kill all men. Honestly, you know what, I would like to know who's hurt her that badly. That's the first thing I want to know. You know, to have such a belief, it's the same with things like racism, prejudice of any type. You know, it's rooted from something that's awful that's happened to you relating to that gender or relating to that race. And the person has sort of irrationally blamed a group of people for one person screwing something up. You know what I mean? It's so wrong to let the fault of one person of a particular gender or particular race even um really be your overall opinion of that entire group of people. So I wonder what causes her to really hate men this much. And all men being rapists? No, not all men are rapists. At least in Australia, and I'm sure in any country, in school, we're not taught to rape women. We're taught to treat women equally. In Australia, all hands to yourself. That is something that, when I was in primary school, was a rule that like was said to every student, boy or girl, hands to yourself. You know, I think it's absolutely wrong to say all men are rapists. Men are gross. Some men are gross, but so are some women. That's what I have to say about that. Not everyone is squeaky clean with their, how they act and whatever. And kill all men once again. Absolutely. Well, let's see. If you killed all men, um, we we'd be screwed because how would our population run? I think men and women both are very important to continuing to allow society to get further and further. I think it's extremely important. So another real quote that I have here from her Twitter. Honestly, the coronavirus isn't killing men fast enough. Now, in Australia, we've had quite extensive lockdowns as a result of coronavirus. It's impacted our life in Australia by a lot. You know, people have lost their jobs, people have lost family. It's an awful thing that has happened in Australia and around the world. You know, Australia was one of the luckier countries in comparison to countries like the United States. And to say that honestly men should die faster from coronavirus, because that's how I interpret that, you know what I mean? I think is disgusting because it's really, you know, you're making a joke of something that is a serious issue in Australia right now. Now I understand you should be able to make jokes about whatever you like, you know, but the way I see it, it's an event that's happening right now. It's sort of something that is affecting us right now. If you know, in time when things sort of get, I don't want to say forgotten, but I guess in time when things sort of get lowered down in seriousness, you know, you can sort of construct jokes around that, and that's what some comedians do, like Isaac Butterfield, for example, and a lot of other comedians. You know what I mean? And you know, part of comedy is taking sort of there's a butt of a joke. You know what I mean? But I think that it's absolutely awful to say that right now. I would say that it's, you know, sort of not really in I don't think she's understanding the gravity of the fact that it's happening now because people are losing family right now. And you know, all I have to say to that is, I wonder how she would feel if that was, you know, her dad or her grandfather or her son, somebody who has died that's a man or a boy, right? I would love to know how she would feel if it was somebody that she loved, you know? That's why I think that this comment doesn't really take into account how other people feel. But I do think that people should be allowed to make jokes about things if after a long period of time.
And yes, I am the one who convinced her to get that shorter haircut that you pretend to like but don't really like.
Honestly, the thing that scares me watching this is just, you know, people, it's good that people are passionate, but like genuinely her face is so scary. Like, it's not the stuff that she's saying, it's the fact that she sounds like this. Oh, I am completely going to ruin your life with my ideology. Oh, I can't talk. I'm going to completely ruin your life with my ideology. Like, it's so scary.
And the feminist who is pushing your daughter down the slippery slope of sluthood.
In regards to her pushing daughters down the street of sluthood, as she called it. Um, yeah, nah, I don't like that very much. Oh, look, I don't know about you, but if at least when I have a daughter, I would like my daughter to, you know, be respectful, be responsible. I don't think, not even just my daughter, being a slut in general, I think is not really a positive thing in society. People, you know, at least the way I was taught it, if you're a slut, you're sort of, you know, you're not really helping society in any way. You're not really respecting yourself if you're a slut a lot of the time because at least when you're a slut, you're sort of allowing yourself to be available to everyone. And I guess it's a respect thing, you know. If you do, if you allow everyone to have their way with you, you know, you're not showing that you have, you know, a standard. Because at least when you have, at least how society portrays it, you know, people, not even just women, men, there is a standard that each person has, right, of what they want, like what type of partner they want. And that doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, whatever you are, there is a standard that that person has. And if you allow yourself to have an easy standard with absolutely anybody and uh, be able to be, you're allowing yourself to be treated by any person the way they want, you're not really respecting yourself because you're not allowing yourself to have a standard. which is the reason why I think being a slut isn't a good thing. Because as people, I think we need to be respectable as people. We shouldn't really allow ourselves to be, accessible by everybody. We should be as people allowing ourselves to be, accessed by people we want in our lives, at least in a relationship standpoint. And that's why I don't like that. But I think honestly her face is a lot scarier than the overall idea that she's talking about. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you have ideas for any other topics, please leave them in the comments. Have a good one. Peace.